Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, another question that comes from the sister side, and this is a very sensitive question, and that is, why do men need 2, 3, 4 wives? The issue of polygamy, okay, ta'addud, polygyny, and so on. It is a sensitive topic without a doubt, but first and foremost, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that it is not befit a believing man or woman when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed something, the Prophet has enforced it, practiced it, that they should have some kind of debate over it. This is why Islam is called submission. Now, we understand that it's not easy for women. However, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us. Surah Nisa is clear, so marry 2 or 3 or 4. And I'm not going to get into more details than that. People say certain things. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it, that polygamy is just part and parcel of Islam. It is part and parcel of the Sunnah. The Prophet practiced it, and the Sahaba practiced it, and is very clear about it. So please be careful that you don't compromise your deen when it comes to this issue, that you reject something that Allah has decreed. You cannot do it, it's difficult, it's hard on your heart, you're jealous. Okay, that's your problem. Take it like that. Don't ever blame Islam or say, no, I don't think this is correct, I don't think this is true, I don't think this is part of Islam. Sadly, some of the even ulama are slowly, because of the pressure from the culture and from the people, demand supply Islam because they want followers. May Allah guide us all, because this social media garbage that we are involved in. Sometimes, yes, we have to do dawah on social media. It's a war out there. That's why look what I'm doing. But in the end of the day, do not sell your deen for followers, okay, and for likes on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, having said that, okay, it is something clear cut. Okay, so let's put that aside. Let's just deal with it and talk about it and see what can be done and how we can answer. The question is, again, like, why do men really have this? The answer is very simple. It's in their fitrah. It is built in them. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created them, as a test for them, is, whatever you can call it, a ibtila, an imtihan, a test, a fitna. But this is what it is. Men are polygamists. Throughout history, you look around, even in the animal kingdom in general, men are polygamists. Okay? Polygyny is just the default for men. Is it because there's something wrong with the woman? This is where the problem comes. There's nothing wrong with the woman necessarily in general. That it be, that a man might just desire another woman. No. There might not be nothing wrong with that woman. It's just that the man, they might desire more than one woman. And even if he gets 4, he might desire more. And that's why it says the son of Adam, even if he would have one value of gold, he would want a second one. And he doesn't get satisfied till there's turab, or there's dust in his belly. He dies. Okay? So having said that, again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with the woman if a man desires another wife, or 2 or 3 for that reason. Okay, rest and relax when it comes to that. If you've done what you're supposed to do, and again, Islam is very clear as to what you're supposed to do. That's the funny thing, people, they're always looking, of course, men and women, for their rights, what I should get, but they don't look at their responsibilities, what they should do. And for the women here, we've talked before about that they're kind of losing the edge. Men have lost the edge a long time ago, but the women are also losing the edge now in their beauty, in their performance, and how they should look like for the husband. So yeah, of course, then if you don't tick the boxes, you don't do what you're supposed to do, in terms of, yes, I know people, but I pray, but I'm good, but I'm pious, but I'm righteous, but I'm this and that. It's not enough for a man, because we're not talking about here how close you are to him in salah, or how well you make your ruku and sujood, and how you impress him by that, or how well your tajweed is. That's not what we're talking about. Yes, men would be impressed by that, practicing brothers. In the end of the day, when you become intimate, it's not about that. The angels withdraw. You make your dua, it is something very intimate. And if you don't have those tools, and if you don't have that behavior, you don't understand how to do it, and you don't take care of yourself, then I'm sorry, but the salah and the tajweed doesn't come in at that point. I mean, let's just be honest. People, sadly, because of the monetization of classes and Islam, and everyone's becoming a scholar today through these classes and so on. These classes are good. I'm not saying anything wrong about that. What I'm trying to say, because people are looking at that only. Yes, does she pray? You should pray, man, because it's a basic, for God's sake. You know, the funny thing is, people are like, does she pray? Does she wear hijab? It's like, okay, good, then I'm good to go. No, prayer and hijab is like the basic foundation. It has to be there. You shouldn't be asking about it. I mean, you ask to make sure, because sadly we live in this time where you have to make sure that she prays or he prays and fasts and all that. But I mean, does she have to be a scholar of tafsir and tajweed? Like, not necessarily, man. I would say most men would want her to be more of a good wife, to be very trustworthy and to protect herself and this and that, to be chaste. But at the same time, a man would, obviously, he wants her to be beautiful. He wants to take care of herself. He wants her to be somehow confident and to show, because that's part of fitrah. He wants her to show that she can be a good mother, and that's attractive to a man. It's very attractive, right? So again, if the woman does all these things, okay, and then there's nothing wrong with her. The man just wants another woman, okay, and that's his prerogative. If he's righteous, good, can this and that, then there's some obviously things that you need to look at. The man, he makes the decision. But as for the woman, I mean, if she's done everything, that's it. That's all she can do. And that's why the Prophet said married more than one wife, and married again and again. He had more than one wife. We have to understand the Sahabas, the same thing. Were these Sahabas bad? Were they sexual, inclined, only about sex and only about, because people think that somehow polygamy is just about sex. And this is so sad, honestly. I mean, it's so sad. It's such an injustice to the Sahaba of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's such a big injustice to the Sahaba, because they're the best of human beings. Are you telling me because they're married to more than one wife that they're a bad person and they just want to look around for sex and for different women, they're not pleased with their wives? No. There's so many different reasons. There's so many, even till today, widows, women who are divorced, who don't have husbands, who need a man, and so on and so forth, right? There's so many different reasons why a man should marry more than one wife and should do this and should do that. Is sex one of them? Yes, but we are Muslims, man. Like, this is the deen of the fitrah. Why do Muslims get so crazy when it comes to the issue about, the intimate relation? Yet they're willing to do this and that and commit haram and go and watch and this and that. But when it comes to halal, they get all flimsy and weird. And when it comes to marriage, to aqd, nikah, they get so weird. When it comes to haram, yeah, everything is open. SubhanAllah. My brother used to tell me, and he died, that when he lived in a Muslim country, that because they thought he's a non-Muslim, that they can just open up to him and talk to him about so many things that he's gonna listen to, and he was not impressed. When they're among themselves, Assalamu alaikum, brother, habibi, I don't know what, mashallah. But when you are with a non-Muslim, boom, they just let loose. That's sad. That's very sad. But again, going back to the issue, there's responsibility. There's so much more. Polygamy is something good. It can really help. The woman has to understand, though. She has to control her emotions. Her jealousy will be there. The Sahabiyat, the Ummahatul Mu'mineen, the wives of Rasul were jealous. That does not mean that you fight against. There's movements now to fight, to destroy it, to say it's not true. And you are compromising your deen, your akhirah, for God's sake. Do your best. Do your part, because everyone says, what about his part? Why is he it's always about the other side. Do your part. And if he falls short, then you have options. If he falls short, then it's his fault. If he falls short, then it's his problem. But you do your part. And if you do your part, and he does his part, and he still wants to go on, this is his prerogative. This is what the deen has given. I don't want to give you all kinds of different reasons and this and that. This is the reality. This is our faith. This is our deen. Okay? This is the fitrah of how men were created, and this is the deen of fitrah Islam that regulates it, protects it, give it correct context and so on, and we submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.